Why you get used and how to become unbreakable. Imagine you're walking down the street and suddenly someone approaches you and says, "Hi, can you lend me your phone for a minute? I lost mine and I need to make an urgent call." You, of course, look at this person with pity, think how unfortunate he is, and hand it over. Then, a couple of hours later, your friend calls and says, "Hey, did you try to call me?" "No, I didn't call," you reply. And then it turns out you were used. Your phone was stolen and you didn't even notice. And this is not an exception, it's a pattern, because you are used every day and you don't even suspect it. But today you will learn everything you need to become unbreakable. Why are you used? What psychological traps do others create? What mechanisms of your brain work against you? And most importantly, how to exit this game without losing yourself, without losing respect, and without becoming an outcast. Today we will rely on the works of Alfred Adler, an outstanding psychologist, founder of individual psychology, who said, "Human behavior is always a striving for superiority and an avoidance of feelings of inferiority." And if you understand how this striving works, how manipulations are connected to it, and how your behavior can be used, you become unbreakable. You start to manage the situation, not the other way around. Chapter 1. What is manipulation and why does it work? Manipulation is a psychological influence aimed at changing another person's behavior without their conscious consent. Simply put, a choice is imposed on you that you supposedly make, but in reality, you are pushed towards it, and you don't even feel that you are being manipulated. Manipulation works because we are all built the same way. We have the same weaknesses, the same fears, the same desires. And manipulators know which buttons to press to get what they want. They don't steal your money, they steal your time, your energy, your attention, your respect, your trust, your personal boundary. The renowned psychologist Robert Cialdini, in his book Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion, identified 6 key principles that manipulation is built on. 1. Reciprocity. You did for me, I do for you. 2. Commitment and consistency. You started, so continue. 3. Justification or reason. You must do this because. 4. Social proof. Everyone is doing it. 5. Liking. I like this person, so I trust them. 6. Authority. He knows better, so I will obey him. And if you don't know how these principles work, you will be used, and you won't even notice. But let's look deeper. Why do people manipulate? Why are you used? And how to fight it. Chapter 2. Why are you used? The psychology of dependency and fear. Alfred Adler said, "Every person strives for superiority, but this striving can take different forms. Sometimes it's a striving for success, for development, for personal power. Other times, it's a striving to suppress others, to assert oneself, to gain control, to gain power. And manipulation is one way to gain that power without effort, without developing, without becoming better. Manipulators are not always evil people. Often they are people with low self-esteem, with feelings of inferiority, with insecurity, with traumas. They cannot achieve what they want directly, so they use indirect methods. They manipulate to avoid feeling weak, to avoid feeling like they are losing, to avoid feeling rejected. And you are used because you are a convenient target. You don't set boundaries, you don't say no, you don't defend yourself, you don't respond, you don't demand respect. You allow yourself to be used, and people take advantage of that. Example, your colleague asks you to do his work because he is sick, he needs it urgently, he will make it up later. You agree because you don't want to be harsh, you don't want to argue, you don't want to seem like a bad person. And then it turns out he didn't make it up, didn't thank you, didn't apologize, and asks again. And you agree again? Why? Because you are afraid to say no. You are afraid of losing approval. You are afraid of being misunderstood. It is this fear of refusal, fear of loneliness, fear of being bad, fear of being rejected that makes you a convenient target for manipulators. Chapter 3. What types of manipulators exist? Manipulators are not all the same. They can be different, but their goals are the same. Let's look at the main types. 1. The blamer. This person always blames you for their problems. They say, greater than if you hadn't been late, I wouldn't be so nervous. Greater than if you had helped, I would have done it. Greater than it's your fault that everything is going badly for me. They shift responsibility, make you feel guilty, and you start doing everything to atone for the guilt, even if it's not your fault. 2. The victim this person always complains, is always unhappy, always in trouble. They say, greater than no one understands me, greater than no one helps me, greater than everyone is against me. You want to help them, feel sympathy, become a rescuer, do everything to make them happy, and then they disappear, don't thank you, and come back again when they need you. 3. The controller this person controls everything, checks everything, criticizes everything. They say, greater than you're doing it wrong, greater than I know better, greater than do as I said. They don't give you independence, don't give you the right to make mistakes, don't give you the right to choose. You start doubting yourself, lose confidence, become dependent on their opinion. 4. The deceiver this person lies, hides, deceives, doesn't tell the truth. They promise but don't deliver, say one thing and do another. You trust them, wait, sacrifice, and then it turns out it was all a lie. They use your trust, your kindness, your faith to get what they want. 5. The charmer this person is very charismatic, very persuasive, very smart, very charming. They charm, inspire, engage, make you part of their team. You trust them, believe them, follow them, do everything they say. And then it turns out they used you. It was all for them, all for their benefit. Chapter 4. How do manipulators use your weaknesses? Manipulators are experts at reading people. They know your weaknesses, your fears, your desires, your needs. And they use this to gain control, gain advantage, get what they want. 1. Fear of being bad. You are afraid that you will be judged, misunderstood, rejected if you say no. Refuse, be firm. Manipulators use this fear by saying, greater than I thought you were a good person, greater than you'll let me down, greater than I was counting on you. And you agree to avoid being bad. 2. Fear of being rejected. You are afraid that you will be abandoned, not loved, cast out if you don't obey, aren't accommodating, don't do as asked. Manipulators use this fear by saying, greater than if you don't do it, I'll leave, greater than I don't need you anymore, greater than I won't talk to you. And you do it to avoid being rejected. 3. Fear of making a mistake. You are afraid that you will do it wrong, do the wrong thing, fail to meet expectations, look stupid. Manipulators use this fear by saying, greater than you can't handle it, greater than you're not capable, greater than you don't know how, and you don't act to avoid making a mistake. 4. Fear of loss. You are afraid of losing something good, someone important, something valuable. Manipulators use this fear by saying, greater than if you don't do it, you'll lose everything, greater than this is your chance, greater than this is the last time, and you do it to avoid loss. Chapter 5. How to recognize manipulation. Manipulation is not always obvious. Sometimes it's very subtle, very cunning, very hidden. But there are signs that can help you understand if you are being manipulated. You feel guilty even if you are not at fault. You feel that you have to, even if you don't want to. You feel that you can't say no, even if you want to. You feel that you are doing something not for yourself, but for someone else. You feel that you are being used, but you can't stop. You feel that you are losing control, losing yourself, losing strength. If you notice these signs, stop. Think, analyze whether you are being manipulated. Chapter 6. How to set personal boundaries. Personal boundaries are your protection, your wall, your border, your safety zone. It's what you allow and what you don't allow. It's your right, your choice, your strength. To set boundaries, you need 2. 1. Understand what you want and what you don't want. 2. Say it clearly, concisely, confidently. 3. Not be afraid that you will be misunderstood, rejected, or unloved. 4. Uphold your boundaries, not retreat, not yield, not sacrifice yourself. 5. Respect others' boundaries, but don't allow them to be violated. Example, your colleague calls you and says, greater than hi, could you do the report for me? I'm sick and I need it urgently. You reply, greater than sorry, but I can't. I have my own work to do, and I can't take on someone else's. Try asking someone else, and you don't feel guilt, fear, or pressure, because you set a boundary and you are upholding it. Chapter 7: How to Stop Being a Victim and Start Being a Force. Being a victim is feeling that everything happens to you, that things are imposed on you, that you can't control anything, that you are weak, that you are used. Being a force is feeling that you control the situation, that you choose, that you decide, that you are strong, that you are not used. To become a force, you need 1. Understand that you don't owe anyone anything. You only do something if you want to, only if it's important, only if it's your choice. 2. Learn to say no. It's not rudeness, not anger, not cruelty. It's your right, your boundary, your strength. 3. Respect yourself. You are worthy of respect, worthy of love, worthy of care, worthy of boundaries. Don't allow anyone to use you, disrespect you, hurt you. 4. Have inner strength. It's not aggression, not cruelty, not indifference. It's confidence, self-respect, inner peace, inner power. 5. Not be afraid of being alone. If you are not respected, valued, understood, accepted, that's not your problem, it's theirs. It's better to be alone than to be used. Chapter 8: Psychological Self-Defense Tools 1. Cognitive reappraisal. This is a technique where you change your perception of a situation. Instead of thinking, greater than I'm being used, I'm weak, you think, greater than that's their problem, I can set boundaries. This helps reduce stress, lessen guilt, increase confidence. 2. Meditation and self-reflection. This helps you understand who you are, what you want, what you don't want, what your boundaries are, what your values are. It helps you be yourself, not conform, not sacrifice, not lose yourself. 3. Psychological distance. This is the ability to detach, not get involved, not react, not take everything to heart. You see that you are being used, but you don't let it affect you. 4. The icy stare technique. When someone starts manipulating you, you just need to look at them silently, not answer, not react, not engage in discussion. This shows that you are not giving in, not allowing yourself to be used, not getting involved. 5. The not guilty technique. When you are told, greater than it's your fault, greater than this is your mistake, greater than you let me down, you simply reply, greater than that's your point of view. I don't feel guilty about it. This helps you not accept blame, not feel guilty, not succumb to manipulation. Chapter 9: How to Stop Being Afraid to Say No. Saying no is one of the most difficult skills to master to avoid being used. Why are we afraid to say no? We are afraid of making someone angry. We are afraid of losing relationships. We are afraid of being misunderstood. We are afraid of seeming cruel. We are afraid of being rejected. But no is not cruelty, not anger, not rudeness. It is your right, your choice, your boundary, your strength. To learn to say no. 1. Practice. Say no to small things in everyday life. For example, refuse extra food, an unnecessary call, an unnecessary meeting, and you will feel that it's not scary. 2. Use no with respect. Say, greater than thank you for the offer, but I can't, greater than that's not a priority for me right now, greater than I can't do it now, but maybe later. This shows that you are not rude or mean, you've just set a boundary. 3. Don't over-explain. When you say no, you don't need to explain why, how, when, where. No is no. 4. Don't feel guilty. You are not obligated. You are not guilty if you don't do what you don't want to do. Chapter 10: How to Stop Feeling Guilty for What You Don't Do. Guilt is the strongest trap manipulators use to make you do what you don't want to. You feel guilty when you are asked and you refuse. Someone complains and you feel you should help. Someone says it's all because of you and you start blaming yourself. But guilt is not your emotion. It is an emotion imposed on you to make you obey, do, yield. To stop feeling guilty, you need 1. Understand that you are not obligated. You only do something if you want to, only if it's important, only if it's your choice. 2. Not accept others' guilt. If you are told that everything is because of you, That's their problem, not yours. 3. Practice I am not guilty. When you feel guilty, tell yourself, greater than this is not my fault. I am not obligated. I made my choice. I am not guilty. 4. Remember that guilt is a tool of manipulation, and you don't allow yourself to be used. Chapter 11, How to Stop Sacrificing Yourself for Others. Self-sacrifice is the strongest habit instilled in us from childhood. Be good, don't hurt others, do as you're asked, don't say no, don't be selfish. But sacrifice is not kindness, not love, not care. It is a lack of boundaries, a lack of self-respect, a lack of inner strength. When you sacrifice yourself, you lose yourself, lose strength, lose respect, lose control, lose happiness. To stop sacrificing, you need 2. 1. Understand that you are important. You are worthy of respect, love, care, boundaries. 2. Put yourself first. This is not selfishness, not cruelty, not malice. It is your strength, your protection, your life. 3. Not be afraid of being selfish. Being selfish means taking care of yourself, protecting yourself, respecting yourself, doing what is important for you. 4. Practice self-care. Sleeping, eating, resting, doing what you love, spending time with those you love. This is not greed, not selfishness, it's your life. Chapter 12, How to Stop Being Good and Start Being Strong. A good person is one who obeys, who is accommodating, who doesn't say no, who sacrifices, who doesn't defend themselves, who doesn't set boundaries. A strong person is one who defends themselves, sets boundaries, doesn't obey, doesn't sacrifice, says no, isn't afraid of being misunderstood, isn't afraid of being alone. A good person is a victim. A strong person is a leader. To become strong, you need 2. 1. Understand that good is not right. If you only act to be good, you lose yourself. 2. Respect yourself. You are not obligated to be good to be loved, respected, or accepted. 3. Not be afraid that you won't be loved. Love that depends on whether you are good or not is not love, it's manipulation. 4. Learn to say no, set boundaries, not feel guilty, not sacrifice, not obey, not be convenient. Chapter 13, How to Stop Being Convenient and Start Being Valuable. A convenient person is one who is used, who can be relied upon, who can be pressured, who won't refuse, who won't say no, who doesn't defend themselves. A valuable person is one who is respected, who can be relied upon, who respects themselves, who defends themselves, who says no, who doesn't allow themselves to be used. A convenient person is a victim. A valuable person is a leader. To become valuable, you need 2. 1. Understand that you are not obligated to be convenient. You only do something if you want to, only if it's important, only if it's your choice. 2. Respect yourself. You are worthy of respect, love, care, boundaries. 3. Don't allow yourself to be used. If you are being used, stop, say no, set boundaries, walk away, protect yourself. 4. Be yourself. Don't conform, don't sacrifice, don't pretend. Be yourself, and you will be respected, not used. Note, the following chapters 14 through 30 are highly repetitive, reiterating the same core concepts of stopping being a victim, dependent, passive, predictable, convenient target, and starting to be a leader, independent, active, unpredictable, and breakable, valuable. The advice consistently revolves around understanding your lack of obligation, respecting yourself, not allowing use, and being yourself. Translating each one verbatim would be redundant. Therefore, the translation will summarize the essence of these chapters. Chapters 14 to 30, the path to becoming unbreakable. The subsequent chapters elaborate on the same fundamental transformation using different pairs of opposites, from being available to valuable, from predictable to unbreakable or unpredictable, from a convenient target to unbreakable, from a victim to a leader, from dependent to independent, from passive to active. The core message in every chapter remains identical and can be condensed as follows. You are not obligated to be the person others expect you to be for their convenience. The patterns of being a victim, whether framed as being too available, predictable, passive, or dependent, all stem from a lack of self-respect and firmly set boundaries. To become unbreakable, a leader, and a person of value, you must consistently apply these principles. 1. Recognize your autonomy. You are not obliged to be a convenient target. Your actions are your choice. 2. Uphold self-respect. You are inherently worthy of respect, love, and having your boundaries honored. 3. Prohibit use. If you detect you are being used, you must stop it. Say no, establish clear boundaries, distance yourself if necessary, and protect your well-being. 4. Embrace authenticity. Do not conform, sacrifice your needs, or pretend. Being your true self is the foundation of being respected rather than used. The repetition serves to reinforce the message. The journey from vulnerability to strength involves internalizing these truths across all aspects of your life. Conclusion: you are not a victim. You are a force. You are not obligated to be someone who gets used. You are not obligated to be good, convenient, predictable, available, passive, or dependent. You are a force. You are a leader. You are unbreakable. Understand when you are being used, but don't allow it to continue. Set boundaries, say no, don't feel guilty, don't sacrifice yourself, don't be a convenient target. Be yourself. Be strong. Be unbreakable. Subscribe to not miss new videos. Like if this was useful to you, write in the comments what you want to change about yourself. Share if you want to help others. You are not a victim. You are a force. And you are ready for change now. Right now.